Hello? Ready for our next session now? We'll first of all do a couple of things as follow-up to yesterday. I somewhat stumbled over memorizing Anselm's phrase. I'd like to get it right this time. We were talking about the mental ability that people have to conceptualize a divine being. And a lot of people through the centuries have had the same kind of concept of a divine being. And that phrase that Anselm said goes like this: God is that than which nothing greater can be conceived. I had my that and my than mixed up. God is that than which nothing greater can be conceived. And of course that requires a non-physical quality. I also want to do a follow-up on something we talked about that I had in my mind to follow up, but I did not do it during the time limitation. I was talking with David about this after class, and I want to do it for the class's sake. In evolutionary thought, what is the main driving force, according to macroevolutionists, that plants and animals and people are all moved by? What is the one overriding dominant force? Survival. Okay. Survival. One-cell germs are trying to survive. So here's the germ, and here's food. And they want to go for the food and keep surviving. So it's a unidirection. And a cat, same thing. Cats are looking for food. They want to survive. They want to adapt. They want to evolve. And people are looking for food, and they want to survive. They want to evolve. They want to adapt. Everything is unidirectional, single direction. Now, if life is really a matter of particles, as the naturalists say, and in reality, particles just sit or roam or move or jump or bump or get pushed around by wind or gravity. So you have, at the microscopic level, particles going a number of directions, like a gravel bed that's shaken by an earthquake and the pebbles fall different directions, or the wind blows at the same time, or it's raining and the water moves from parts of the gravel different directions. So in reality, you have particles going all kinds of directions, and because there's no mind, at least in the beginning. So how does this contradict the evolutionary view that all of life is unidirectional? Can this unidirection be explained by their own view as being that life is only material particles? And in the beginning, they were mindless. So how should this be drawn? If life is really like this at the microscopic level, then what should we see with plants, animals, and people?
A direction.
For all sorts of things.
We should see many people who do what? What should maybe half this room be doing right now at lunchtime?
Eating.
Okay, and the other half?
Eating. Searching for it.
Other half, the other half of this room, by random products of material particles, half the room should probably have no interest anymore in eating. Because who says, here's the problem again of who says that surviving is better than not surviving? Why is the quality surviving a higher, a better thing than not surviving? Particles are particles. So once again, who says that particles in an upright position after you ate at Taco Bell is better than particles in this position that you've never eaten since last January, which means you're going to fall down and be buried? So who says that particles here are better than particles there in a grave because they stopped eating? Who says that we have to survive and evolve and adapt? See, that itself is a value judgment. Particles don't have consistent, they don't have any value judgments. But if they did, it would be random value judgments. You see the point? And yet, we find that one-cell animals have the same direction that we do, with billions of cells. We have the same motivation to eat food and survive. Gee, that's a strange coincidence if it's just random processes going on. So why do you think that all these things have the same direction? What's the best answer? We heard a message this morning about that. What's the best answer that things have a single direction? There's a big mind. The manufacturer, the one who made us, the owner of us, the manufacturer of our mental product, who programmed us and sent the one-cell creature He made and the billion-cell creatures He made to move in the same direction. We have purpose, we have direction, we have a goal. Simply put, at least the goal is to eat. Living is better than dying. Surviving is better than not surviving. And it's unidirectional. That suggests that there's a purpose and not a random process. A single purpose from a single mind, where all this stuff comes from. So I wanted to follow up with that their view, they don't even see the flaw in their own thinking, because they insist that things are this way, but it cannot be always unidirectional from all creatures if this is what's really happening beneath the surface. We should see people who have no interest in food, and cats who don't want to eat anymore, and one-cell germs who are just as happy dying as that they are eating. But we call that an aberration in life, an unhealthy, a sickness, a psychosis, and so forth. Okay, now we're on to question number 6 in our philosophical journey. Question 6. What is question 6? Notice the humor again in our question. Notice the self-defeating statement. Is it really wrong to think there's a real right and wrong? Okay, this is question number 6 in our philosophical journey that we're borrowing from Peter Kreeft. So the subtitle is, If Life is Also Spiritual, which we established yesterday in question 5. We're now going to assume that we won the case before the court. We gave enough evidence that life is spiritual. Now, is it also moral? In this spiritual dimension, is there a moral dimension to the spiritual dimension? Is there a real right and wrong? That's the question we're tackling today. So again, look at your notes. Oh, sorry. You haven't got them yet.
Well, that's okay. They probably don't even really exist.
Calvin, could you stop the camera? I need to get the notes out of my office.
Great.